Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a Manchester City rebuild with them finishing third, having one of their worst seasons in a while. They actually managed to recover towards the latter half of the season, but for a good chunk of the season, they went from early title contenders to losing Rodri tearing his ACL, and their season went downhill into then. We went ahead and seen them struggle, go winless in 11, I believe it was, at one point towards the start of the season off the back end of Rodri's injury. They were fighting for a Champions League qualification, possibly not even getting that. They got lucky with the fifth place, and then they bounced back and actually managed to win a couple of the last games. They went on a little bit of a streak and finished third, and almost nearly finished above Arsenal in second. We are going to jump in here with their new signings in Tiani Reyners and Ryan Cherki. They have also not signed him technically yet in Naipan or the youngster, but he is part of the squad. They lose Kevin De Bruyne. He is off to Napoli. And so at the moment, this is how the team. Oh, they also signed Aït-Nouri as well at left back. Pep Guardiola said he wanted a smaller squad or he would quit. He's not really getting a smaller squad. He's getting anything bigger. He's only lost two players in Scott Carson and Kevin De Bruyne, and he's bought in four players already in the likes of Ryan Cherki, Tiani Reyners, Aït-Nouri, and another goalkeeper, another backup old goalkeeper in the name of Bentinelli, I believe it was. I believe his name is Bettinelli from Chelsea for $2.5 million. He went ahead and bought him in as well. Looking at the squad, we are at the start of season 2, so everybody that was on loan is now back in the squad. And this squad is incredibly oversaturated. So we are going to go ahead and look to sell near half the squad. I just want 2 rows of reserves and my bench, and then I want to be able to win the Champions League. Our aim is to win within the next 5 seasons. We want to win 2 Champions League, 3 Premier League titles, 4 domestic tournaments. Possibly 4 domestic tournaments, maybe. So at the moment, this is your best starting lineup. We have Ederson in net, Rico Lewis at right back, Diaz and Gvardiol as our 2 center backs, Aït-Nouri as our left back, Rodri and Tiani Reyners new signing in the midfield, with Ryan Cherki sitting just ahead of them, with Phil Foden on the left, Erling Haaland as striker, and currently at the moment, Savinho on the right-hand side. We have a lot of players. We have a lot of players on the loan list as well. We have a couple of players on the loan list here. A couple of the youngsters, including Naipan, who is a new signing. Echeverri, decent prospect. Kusanov, decent prospect. Bob, obviously. O'Reilly, decent prospects. But we have also transfer listed a lot of players, including the likes of Mikate, Matheus Nunes, Kabore, Akanji, Calvin Phillips, obviously. Bernardo Silva, we have transfer listed. Ake, Kovacic, Jack Grealish, Kyle Walker, Gundogan. And yeah, so a lot of decent quality players transfer listed. So we're going to see if we can get some transfer offers for them. Thin out the squad a little bit because we currently have, how many players? We currently have 46 players, which is absolutely absurd. That's almost near the max on the actual FC game. So let's go ahead and get rid of some of these guys. First bit of business is done. Mikate is off to Burnley for $3.1 million. I guess we'll be seeing him in the Premier League, but that's our first sale of the summer. It has been about a week and a half in game time, so let's talk about some of the transfers that has gone on. We say goodbye to McAtee. He is off to Burnley for $3.1 million. We loan out Ba to Al Ittihad in Saudi Arabia. We'll see him grow over the course in Saudi Arabia for the season. We say goodbye to Nathan Ake. We sell him to Brighton for $13.3 million. Matheus Nunes, we say goodbye to him. He is off to Tottenham for $16 million. I could have probably loaned him in all honesty, or maybe played him in midfield, but off he goes to Tottenham. Jack Grealish is off to Chelsea for $22.8 million. We loan out the new guy in Naipan out to Brentford for this season. Kusanov is going over to Newcastle. I feel like that'd be a great fit for him. Just that whole entire environment over there in Newcastle would be perfect for a player like Kusanov. He's off to loan there. Callum Doyle has been sold to Leicester for $4.4 million. Nico O'Reilly has been loaned to Deportivo Alvarez for 2 years. We'll see whether or not that will last 2 years. It probably will, in all honesty, but he's off there. there for the season. And then Victor Reis is off to Al Hilal for the season as well. And Claudio Echeverri is going to stay in England, but off to Bournemouth for the season. With all those transfers, that leads us back up towards 100 million after our spending spree of 147 with all the other transfers. We are now up to 98 million. There is 2 positions I want to improve on this team still. I don't know whether or not I'll improve on both of them this season, but I think one of them definitely is. And I think that is getting somebody a little bit younger than Ederson in net. Somebody that could possibly leave a very good squad this summer. They already declined from Chelsea, and Chelsea don't want to play the haggle game. They were trying to get him before the Club World Cup. We are going to go after Donnarumma and hopefully offer a flat-up swap. And in fact, they don't want Ederson. They want Bernardo Silva. And honestly, you know what? Sure, we're looking to sell him anyway, so yeah, why not? He is getting 116,000 wage boost coming from PSG over to Manchester City, from 84,000 a week to 200,000 flat a week. Donnarumma is going to join this squad and be part of our 5-year empire where we look to take back over football. Let's see what the boys can do. And so I think we are done with our selling frenzy for now. We'll keep everybody we have part of the squad here before it gets too thin with certainly our loanees out on loan. That is going to be our kind of backup in future of this club. So here we go. The only changes to this team at the moment is Donnarumma in net. That is the only change alongside obviously the real life signings, Tiana Rangers, Cherki, and Aït-Nouri. We have a lot of players on loan now here come the start of Season 2. We have Reis, Echeverri, O'Reilly, Bob, Kushanov, Ball, and Nightpan all on loan already. We'll see them grow out through the course of the year. Let's see if we can win some domestic trophies as well as continental. Halfway through our first season, we are sitting 2 points behind league leaders Liverpool, 5 points ahead of Arsenal in third. We have FA Cup round 3 action here against Morecambe. Carabao Cup, we are not in the semifinals. When did we get knocked out of the Carabao? Did we get knocked out early? Oh my lord, we got knocked out early? Where are we at? Hello? Manchester City. We lost to... No, that wasn't Burnley. We lost to Walsall 1-0. Alright, well that is rather embarrassing. So our only chance for kind of domestic trophies here in the terms of FA and Carabao is through the FA Cup this season. How are we doing in the Champions League games with 2 games left to go? We are sitting 1 point outside the top 8 here, so that is interesting to see. So there's a chance we go through the playoff system of the Champions League here. The question is Donnarumma's playing? No, it is all it is all Donnarumma. I was fearful that Ederson would play since they're both on crucial, but it is Donnarumma that is getting the game time here. Our top goal scorer is Oscar Marmoush, who is playing more instead of Erling Haaland. Why is that the case? That should never be the case. We are gonna put. Is he on like crucial or something? Why is he on important? Interesting. Well, I'm gonna make sure Erling Haaland's playing my games. I just gotta make sure Erling Haaland. So if I gotta put him down to sporadic, I will. And with a loss against Dynamo Zagreb and a draw against AC Milan, we are sitting in the playoffs of the Champions League. We had to go through the playoffs. We had to take down Sporting CP. We finished 15th in the Champions League. That is not great, in all honesty. I was expecting us to kind of hopefully coast through the Champions League, but we did not. In the Premier League, we are sitting on top of the table as well. If you did see that in January, we kind of went on a win streak here after drawing to Fulham. We barely beat Morecambe in the Cup, but after that, we beat everybody else, including Tottenham, Newcastle, and Nottingham Forest, as well as Wolves as well. Something I do want to check on, though, as we are halfway through the season, is some of our loan players. Let's see how they are doing in growth-wise. So Reis has grown +2, Echeverri has grown +2, O'Reilly +3, Bob +3, Kusanov +1, Simpson +2, Bob +2, and Naipan +1. So some more growth out of them guys, and hopefully we can do that. We do have FA Cup round 4 action against Burton Albion, and then obviously Champions League action against Sporting, which we'll talk about over the simulation here. So here we go against FA Cup Burton Albion. We should hopefully get past this one. It is again only a narrow 2-1 win. Don't know why that is. But Champions League, first leg here of the playoffs, it's Man City versus Sporting, a 2-2 draw. We could be out of the Champions League in the playoff system. I did just see Phil Foden is hurt. That's another draw as well against Leeds United. Second leg here against Sporting CP, and on aggregate we win 1-0, so we win 3-2 on the day. We are into the round of 16 in the Champions League. We are taking on Sheffield United in the league. Let's see who we get in the Champions League round of 16, I should say, and go from there. FA Cup, there it is, more like it. Man City versus Sheffield United. We win 4-0. We bash them. We get Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. So Borussia Dortmund in the round of 16 leads the round of 16 looking like this. Zagreb versus AC Milan, Leipzig versus Barcelona, City versus Dortmund, Liverpool PSG in another round of 16. Was this not the round of 16 matchup in real life? I believe it was, in which PSG won that. Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Napoli versus Bayern Munich, Fenerbahce versus Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho versus Real Madrid, Athletic Club versus Inter Milan. Let's see what the boys can do. Do we have our next round of the FA Cup? No, we do not. That will be coming in the next couple of days as well. In the first leg here against Borussia Dortmund, it's a 3-0 win. We could easily be into the quarterfinals of the Champions League now. AC Milan take care of business against Zagreb. We take care of not business against Aston Villa. I got sold a dream by the social media board. Second leg here, 2-1 on the day and 5-1 win on aggregate. Manchester City are into the quarterfinals. We have Liverpool in the FA Cup quarterfinals here as well, where Newcastle, Sunderland, Fulham. Newcastle, Sunderland. Wow. Fulham, Coventry, Swansea City versus Derby County. FA Cup without Foden, and it looked like without Rodri there as well against Liverpool, and Man City nearly get through. A 1-0 win, and Manchester City are in the semifinals of the FA Cup, where they'll be going to Wembley to take on Derby County, where Sunderland beat Newcastle United in a 4-3 showout. That is absolutely insane. If we don't win the first domestic trophy here, then I don't know what's going to happen. As far as the league goes, we are peeling away from second spot Liverpool, in third place Arsenal. We are 7 points behind them, or ahead of them, I should say. And then we get RB Leipzig in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where Inter get Bayern Munich, AC Milan get Liverpool, and Real Madrid get Arsenal. That's another repeat of the quarterfinals in real life, where Arsenal took down Real Madrid. Can they do it again, this time in game? Probably not. First leg here of the Champions League quarterfinals against Leipzig, a narrow 2-1 win against the Germans. We're going over to Germany now for that second leg. Phil Foden must have tore his ACL because he's been injured for a while now. I guess this whole second half of the season, he might see, I don't know what he's done, a broken toe maybe. They should be back now. A 2-1 loss that time, and we move, no, was it? No, it was a 1-1 draw. Yeah, it was a 1-1 draw. And we move on to the semifinals, where we'll be taking on Real Madrid, who unfortunately took down Arsenal 4-3 on aggregate, which means the other semifinals is AC Milan versus Bayern Munich. FA Cup semifinal here against Derby County. They pick a man of the match. We lose to Derby County in the FA Cup. Yikes, that's not good. Well, first leg of the semifinals here, we lose 3-1 against Real Madrid. Our season is falling apart. We went from nearly fighting for a treble to maybe just winning the Premier League. It looks like Phil Foden is back, though. Second leg here, a 1-0 win, which means a 3-2 loss on aggregate. And we are out in the semifinals of both the Champions League and the FA Cup. So, from hopefully our easiest path to our first domestic trophy, it might just lead to just one Premier League title in the first season. And so we will at least win the Premier League. We don't bottle that. Look at it. I mean, to be fair, it almost got close. A couple of draws there, and Arsenal started to peel it back. We win the Premier League by 4 points, which is at least good. So in the first season, we win 1 out of the 3 Premier Leagues that we wanted to win so far. So that is good there. I still can't believe we bottled the FA Cup, in which Derby County went ahead and won the FA Cup as well. So Derby County will play Europa League football. Carabao Cup, the final, it went to Liverpool. The Champions League final, it is Real Madrid versus AC Milan. We unfortunately failed at that final hurdle as well. Our top goal scorer here was Marmoush with 36 goals. Where is Erling Haaland played 13 games, so he didn't even play the second half of the season. I don't know why that is, but if it's a thing, Marmoush, you're gone. In all honesty, you'll just be gone. Our loanee players, Echedez up to 76, Oscar Bob up to 76 at +4, Kushanov at +2, Bob +2. Honestly, Bob might just be sold or released. Nightpan a +2 as well. He might be again another loanee that goes on. So on to season 2, where we'll look to get rid of some of more of the older guys on the squad here. We do have an aging squad. We'll go try and get rid of some of those and introduce some new younger squads and talents to the squad as we look to go for every single trophy there is. We've only won one in season 1, unfortunately. We kick season 2 off by bringing in Tino Livramento in from Newcastle United. We have a new right back. Akanji goes into the swap deal, so we lose a backup center back. But with Kushnov off of the loan, I think he would be brilliant as well as there. Rico Lewis, we actually look to loan out. I know he's 80 overall, so that's why we're going to look to loan him out, that we don't lose him purposely. And yeah, there's that. What's happened? Now, this is going to sound absolutely wild, but James Trafford is coming to the squad as our backup goalkeeper. Our backup goalkeeper, Ederson, we're making sure he doesn't play any gameplay, so he is gone. It's a straight-up swap deal with Ederson and James Trafford. Welcome to the squad. Welcome to Pep Guardiola Manchester City's. Let's see what you can do. Well, hopefully, let's not see you at all, in all honesty. We are going to go ahead and push Phil Foden back to his natural right-hand side, and we are going to bring in Rafinha from Barcelona into the squad. I forget that I'm rebuilding Manchester City and not like a lower league team in their season 2, and we can sign these world-class players. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. We are signing world-class players, and that includes Rafinha coming onto the left-hand side. So it'll be Rafinha, hopefully Erling Haaland, and not Jeremy Doku, and Phil Foden on the right-hand side. So welcome to the squad for 80-point-something million. Welcome to Manchester City. Let's see what you can do. Was possibly going over to Arsenal a couple years ago. Had a great season with Barcelona, and now off to Manchester City for 85 mil. And so this is our squad for season 2. Rafinha, Haaland, Foden, Cherki, Rodri, Reiners. Livramento is one of the only 2 changes in here. Our bench is looking like this. Nipran is going to stay in here as well. Echeverri is off on loan. So let's see what these boys can do. I'm going to make sure guaranteed Erling Haaland is our striker starting. I'm going to guarantee it. A little bit over halfway through the season, we went ahead and skipped all throughout through the top 8 of the Champions League, the league phase there. We sit first in the Premier League as well, so we are looking to maybe do a double here in the Premier League. Still only 1 point ahead of Liverpool at the moment, so it's not completely written off yet. FA Cup, are we in round 4? Yes, we are in round 4. We are taking on the winners, the defending champions, Derby County, the team that knocked us out of the semis last year. We are looking to get our revenge back on them. Carabao Cup, we are in the semifinals taking on Crystal Palace, currently up 2-1 on aggregate there, so a chance to possibly win our first domestic trophy coming in a couple of weeks. We get to skip out on the playoff action this time. We finished in 7th. We narrowly get to skip out on the playoff action as well, so there is that. We at least do get to skip it out, so we don't have to go through that. So we really only have to worry about whether or not we win a domestic trophy, if we bottle the top or bottle Carabao Cup or not here. Looking at the contract expiring, those are all good to expire, and honestly, now the big thing is Erling Haaland is playing the games now. So is Marmoush. We've already played 38 games as well. That is absurd. 24 Prem, Champions League, Carabao Cup. I guess that all makes sense. Yes. Well, they're both playing all the games. Erling Haaland is scoring 29 goals there as well, so I'll take that. Phil Foden. Does that mean somebody? That means my left mid is not playing. Yeah. Why is Rafinha not playing? So Rafinha is not playing, so that is interesting. So that means Marmoush is possibly playing left wing and Erling Haaland at striker. That could be what's happening. If Rafinha doesn't play, it doesn't catch up to Marmoush, I'm selling Marmoush at the beginning of season 3, whether or not he's good enough or not. Well then, I'll see y'all at the beginning of March to see who we get in the Champions League. Champions League round of 16, we have Club Brugge. Carabao Cup final, we have Nottingham Forest. FA Cup, guess what? We lost to Derby County again. We lost to Derby County again. They have our number in this video so far. Well then, we have a chance to win our first trophy at least against Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup. Let's see if we can go ahead and beat Club Brugge in the Champions League. I totally didn't come over, but a 2-1 win and a 4-2 win, a 6-3 aggregate win, and we are into the round of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Carabao Cup final. I'm gonna sim it through here because, well, this is the only kind of guarantee that I can have that these players will play. Can we win our first domestic trophy? The answer is yes. Phil Foden in the 70th and Phil Foden in the 32nd. We win our first domestic trophy, 1 out of the 4 that we wanted to win. So we will take that. Champions League, we get Tottenham in it. We draw the first leg 1-1 in the Champions League. Second leg here of the Champions League round of quarterfinals, I should be saying, is we win 3-2 on aggregate. Erling Haaland picks up man of the match. We are back into the semifinals of the Champions League. It is Inter Milan in the semifinals of the Champions League. The first leg here at home, we pick up a 2-1 victory. We are 90 minutes away from the Champions League in a very important title battle fight against Liverpool. We win that one 2-1 as well. That could see us give our second back-to-back trophy. And in the Champions League semifinal second leg, a 2-0 win, a 4-1 win on aggregate, and we are into the Champions League final. Oh, and with 4 games left to go, that game against Liverpool actually was not a title contender because we have peeled away. We are 10 points ahead of Liverpool now as well. So we will go and pick up our back-to-back Premier League trophies. We are also looking to add an additional Champions League trophy to this to complete a treble. It's not the big treble, the FA, Prem, and Champions League, but it's a treble nonetheless. We do lose to Man United. And so let's just go through our Champions League journey, or just go through the Champions League journey here. Starting off in the round of 16, we have Dortmund and Nice. We had Inter going through. We had Spurs knocking off Real Madrid. PSG knocking off Arsenal. Fenerbahce knocking off Leipzig. Leverkusen manhandling Ajax. Liverpool doing the same to Atletico Madrid. We obviously did easy work against Club Brugge. In the quarterfinals, PSG handled business against Liverpool once again. Fenerbahce narrowly get past Borussia Dortmund with a 6-5 win there on aggregate. Inter Milan go into the semifinals, knocking off Leverkusen. We obviously knocked off Tottenham. In the semifinals, we knocked off Inter Milan, but Fenerbahce knocked off Paris Saint-Germain, which means the Champions League final for Season 2 is Manchester City versus Fenerbahce. What? Jose Mourinho has been working magic here. We are not going to go ahead and play the Champions League final. I know we usually play Champions League final, but we will not play this one. The Champions League final will go to not Real Madrid, to Manchester City. An 85th minute winner from Phil Foden. And we knock off the Turkish understory. Erling Haaland opened up the score in the 22nd. He picked up a yellow card in the 34th. Phil Foden made it 2-1. In the 47th, Ismaili equalized in the 50th. They took the lead in the 64th. Erling Haaland equalized in the 74th. He got sent off with his second yellow 6 minutes later. And then 15 minutes later after that incident, we went ahead and scored the winner with Phil Foden. And Manchester City complete the treble and win the Champions League. It's going to go straight into a trophy parade, is it? It might go straight into a trophy parade. It will. And so that is one out of the 2 Champions League trophies that has won. That is 1 out of the 4 domestic trophies combined with the Carabao and FA Cup. And that is 2 out of the 3 Premier League trophies that we have wanted to win. Erling Haaland scored 48 goals in the league, 13 in the Premier League. Phil Foden also scored 38. Marmoush, he's a great player, but his time might be over. Because I mean, Rafinha's just not playing games, and I'm not spending 80 million on a player to not play a game. So he will go into the squad. He will go ahead and be sold next season. On to season 3, where we look to complete, hopefully, the Champions League requirement. If we complete the Champions League requirement and Premier League requirement to this next season, it'll be the end of the rebuild, in all honesty. Oscar Marmoush has not really been sold, but instead swapped out for a pre-gen, regen type of player here. Joaquin Silva comes in for Omar Marmoush. I say Oscar, for Omar Marmoush, I should be saying. Yeah, well, we swapped a 50 million player for a 12 million player straight up. So that is what's happened there. That guarantees Rafinha will play on the left. That guarantees Erling Haaland will play at striker. It's just something I had to do. Ronald Araujo comes into the squad from Barcelona. It's a swap deal including Ruben Diaz, who is getting older and worse. So we go ahead and bring in Ronald Araujo. Welcome to Manchester City from Barcelona. Might not be the last player we sign from Barcelona this season. We might be improving our right back situation again. And halfway over the season, we are sitting 4th in the league. We are 6 points behind Arsenal as well as Liverpool there as well. FA Cup, we have around 4. Oh my God, we played Derby County again. If we lose to Derby County 3 times in a row, I'm going to be pissed. Carabao Cup, we are in the semifinals of this again, looking to defend our trophy. We are up 2-1 against Tottenham at the moment. And then in the Champions League, we skip out on the playoffs. We finish 3rd in the Champions League there. Let's see if we can hopefully beat Derby County. And I'll see y'all at the round of 16 for the Champions League. We lose to Derby County again. They have our number this rebuild. We lose to Derby County again. We beat Napoli 2-0 in the first leg of the Champions League here. We are in the round of 16. Let's see if we can beat them in the second leg. I didn't realize the first leg happened so first. Carabao Cup final to defend our trophy here against Chelsea, and we do not. We lose 2-1. Nicholas Jackson with the brace. Phil Foden trying to rescue in the 55th. Couldn't score after that. It's PSV in the quarterfinals of the Champions League here. A 2-0 win in the first leg, where Donnarumma picks up man of the match. Champions League, second leg here, 3-2 on the day, 5-2 on aggregate. We're in the semifinals of the Champions League. Champions League semifinal against AC Milan. Last season it was Inter. This time it's AC, and we lose the first leg 1-0. Second leg here, the Champions League semifinal. We lose 1-0, 2-0 on aggregate. We will not go back-to-back in the Champions League. It's looking like we won't even win the Premier League. There's a chance we might even make top 4. We will make top 4. We are 7 points behind Arsenal at the moment as well. There's a chance we actually fall off. We finished second in the league here, 7 points behind the league winners in Arsenal. So there is that. Top goal scorer, Erling Haaland had 37 goals. Ryan Cherky had 20. Rafinha had 19. Phil Foden had 18. Rodri had 13. Tiani Reis had 6. Rodri's time might be over. He's 92 overall, though, so that is interesting to see there. Rico Lewis is back, and he's playing majority of the games at right back here as well. I'm guessing in Liverpool. Oh, to be fair, they split the games evenly. And we start season 4 by bringing in Pedri from the squad. The Barcelona wonder kid, the super talented guy. We bring him in. We swap Tiani Reinders in for him. So Tiani Reinders goes over to Barcelona. Pedri comes into Manchester City. Welcome to the squad. Welcome to hopefully building an empire. We go ahead and bring in a backup midfielder by bringing in youngster and Warren Zaire-Emery. Welcome to Manchester City. He will be a backup for Rodri and Pedri. Welcome to the squad. And in halfway through the season, we are tied in first with Arsenal, but we still have that first spot. So come the end of the day, we are your Premier League leaders at the moment. FA Cup round 4, we have West Ham. We get the void against Derby County. So we finally don't have to play Derby County. Please tell me they lost. Oh my God, Derby County won. Derby County are still in the tournament. They play Stoke City. Carabao Cup, no semifinal action for us. And in fact, actually, never mind. Semifinal action for us and final action for us. The semifinals got done a lot quicker than it was. Well, we beat Brighton in the semifinals. We will be taking on Burnley in the final there. In the Champions League, we skip out in our playoff. We finished 5th in there. Well then, so Carabao Cup actually did it all in January for once. Oh, that's interesting. That's good to see. I will see y'all in March for Champions League round of 16 action. We do beat West Ham 3-1, but again, the Champions League goes a little bit longer. We also beat Wolves in the FA Cup as well, so round 6 of the FA Cup we are in. We lose 2-1 to Roma in the Champions League, so we have the second leg here against them. We have Burnley in the Carabao Cup final. We have Tottenham in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. There is no, in the Champions League, in the FA Cup, there is no derby, so we don't have to worry about derby. So maybe we can win the FA Cup on the 4th season. Let's see if we can beat Roma, though. We win 3-0 on the second day, 4-2 on aggregate into the quarterfinals of, there we go, is Carabao Cup here against Burnley. Let's see if we can win that and pick up our second Carabao Cup trophy. The answer is yes, a 3-2 win. We are your Carabao Cup champions for the second time in 2 seasons. Champions League quarterfinals against Atletico Madrid here, off into Spain for the first leg. A 2-1 win there. Second leg here against Atletico Madrid. A 1-0 win, that board said, and a 1-0 win it is. 3-1 on aggregate. We are into the semifinals of the Champions League. We're also into the final of the FA Cup, where we are taking on Crystal Palace. We have Borussia Dortmund in the semifinals of the Champions League. Let's see if we can take them down. First leg here against Borussia Dortmund here. A 2-0 win in the first leg. Second leg here against Borussia Dortmund. A 1-1 draw, 3-1 on aggregate. We're into the Champions League final. We're also into the FA Cup final, where we are taking on Nottingham Forest. How far are we doing in the league? We will win the league. We will end this rebuild experiment a season short here. Let's go and get into the Champions League final against Arsenal. FA Cup final against Nottingham Forest, and we are your champions of the FA Cup, of the domestic tournament system here. We win the FA Cup. We win the Premier League by 14 points over Arsenal. And talking about Arsenal, that's who we have in the Champions League final to complete the quadruple. And so looking at the Barcelona team, I seen Rafinha and thought Barcelona. The Manchester. Looking at the Arsenal team here, we have Albert Morello as a left wing, Samu, Saka, Perez in the midfield, Odegaard, Johnson, Zinchenko, Kivior, Morel, Molino, David Raya. We also had the likes of Sutalo. Their bench is not that great. Jurgen Timber should be starting. Alex Meret. We have Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, I guess Cherki, Rodri, Gavardio, and that's it as original Manchester City players. Rafinha came in from me. Pedri came in from me. I guess Aït-Nouri is original as well, technically. Araujo, Livramento, and Donnarumma all came in for me. We have Zaire-Emery on the bench. This is a very strong Manchester City squad. We should be able to wipe the floor with Arsenal. Let's see what we can do. Aït-Nouri intercepted by Saka, but Saka gives it straight back to Rodri, and Rodri into Rafinha. Rafinha into Cherki. Cherki out wide for Rafinha. Rafinha crossed in. Can he find Erling Haaland? No. Saka. Malero. Saka. Albert Morello. Aït-Nouri intercepted. Phil Foden. Out wide to Rafinha. Rafinha into Erling Haaland, and Erling Haaland is in behind, and Erling Haaland, the Norwegian beast, opens up the scoring. 20 minutes in, it's 1-0 to Manchester City. Rafinha out wide for Phil Foden, and Phil Foden now on the ball. Phil Foden, cross, come back, Phil Foden, saved, Rafinha, rebound wide. Rafinha, where is Haaland going? Haaland, cross comes in, headed away. Cherki, that will be halftime. 1-0 up here against the Arsenal. Phil Foden, cross comes in. Araujo headed, Araujo doubles the lead. 2-0 for Manchester City. Phil Foden, out wide for Rafinha. Rafinha now on the ball. Rafinha, cross comes in. Phil Foden, an acrobatic type of finish. Haaland will get to the rebound, and Manchester City will win the Champions League. That will be 2 out of the 2 we wanted to win within the 5 seasons, and we done it in 4. And there it is. Manchester City are your Champions League winners. You know what? I'm going to sit to the end of Season 5 to see if we can win either the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup to complete the 5-year challenge of winning it, because we've done everything else besides domestically. So let's see at the end of Season 5, with no changes to the team, if they can win a domestic trophy. We win the Premier League at Season 5 by 11 points over to Newcastle United. We fail in the FA Cup. Brentford and Blackburn is in the final of that. We do not win the Carabao Cup either. And we do not win the Champions League either. So at the end of the 5 seasons, we win 4 out of the 3 Premier Leagues that we wanted to win. So we do that. We win the 2 Champions League trophy we wanted to win. And we only win 3 out of the FA Cup and Carabao Cup combined out of the 5 seasons there. So we failed in that retrospect, but we still succeeded in the rebuild. I will see y'all on Friday for another rebuild video. Until then, leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.